Merci beaucoup, ça me fait plaisir de retourner à la ville de Maine. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just an absolute pleasure to be here. As I walked in here tonight, came around, I looked at the corner, and I see that confession. I was born in Lewiston. I was baptized here. I did my first communion. I did my confirmation here, and I spent more time in the And you know, I remember the first 10 years of my life, after doing the first communion, you had to go to confession every Friday, and I had it down pat. Because after a while, you know, what do you do in a week's time when you're 7 years old? So you come in and you try to get in and out as quick as you can so you memorize all your sins. You know, there's a person here tonight that I've known since we grew up together, since we were in junior high, and Estelle Boy. And many, you know, people give you a lot of kudos for your first Franco-American in Maine to get elected governor and all that. And I'll tell you something, if it wasn't for Estelle, I'd never get out of high school. That's no lie. We went through high school. LePage, I sat right behind her. She was the brain. I got through high school. You know, as we came down tonight and we were talking about where were you born, you know, where were you in Lewiston, in Canada, where were you born? Well, we started out at 115 Lincoln Street, which is just down the street here. It's now a parking garage. And then we moved to 215 Lincoln Street, which is just across the street, and it's the empty lot between LaBelle's Sheet Metal and the Mission on the corner. That building had 12 apartments. The front store, the front of the building was a grocery store called Moe's Market. And an interesting thing was Roland Morrow, who I went to high school with. Later we went on to Husson. And in our senior year we competed against each other. Two Frenchmen from Lewiston, from maybe 150 feet apart. He lived on the opposite side of the street. His family owned the building. They owned the grocery store. And we challenged each other for president of our senior class, and I lucked out because I won, and this is how I won. He was in a larger fraternity, much more popular, and I was in the fraternity they called, it was like Animal House, you know, you see that. So I had this bright idea that since we're at a university, a college, that everyone associated with the college should vote, including the faculty and the janitors and the security. And so we managed, since I was president of the Student Senate, I managed to convince the Student Senate to allow everybody to vote. And there was maybe 100 people in the administration, and I won for like less than 20 votes. But I've never told Roland that yet. And strangely enough, he works for the state, for the revenue department, so I'll go visit him here. But in this building that we lived at, there were 12 apartments. And the one thing that I remember, there were 83 kids in that building. Our family led the way with 18. At the time, it was less than that, because I left home long before some of them were born. There was probably about 12 of us at the time. Next door, there was 11. Upstairs, there was another family that had about 10. So it was like old home week down here. We'd go across the street right here. Now it's a fire station. It used to be Lowell Park. And all you had to do to get a crowd was tell all the kids to meet in the park because somebody had lollipops or Tootsie Rolls. Big thing, big thing. Now I have to make one confession that I never made in that little confession. One thing we used to do when just after I left home, I was about 12 years old, I was actually on the streets at the time, I learned a trick. Halloween was really big in Little Canada because it had all these carnivals. Everybody had kids, so candy was aplenty. But when I was about 12, I got lazy. So I used to hide right here down the street. There's little alleys between buildings. We used to hide there, and when little kids would come by, we'd steal their candy. And now I'm governor of Maine. What do you think of that? In America. Don't steal our candy. But I'll tell you, now that I'm governor of Maine, there's nothing left to steal. So now we have to get back. And basically, that's what it's all about for me. It's never been about being a politician because, quite frankly, I despise the whole process of being politics. I was mayor of Waterville because I believed I could make a difference, and I think we did. I ran for governor, not because I want my name on a plaque or anything. I ran for governor for one reason. The state was $1 billion in debt. It's been $1 billion in debt since the early 90s. Every time we have a biennial budget that goes out, we seem to be in debt. There's been one budget since 1992 that has not been in debt. And so I decided, you know, getting close to retirement. So I told my wife, she's such a sweetie, and she's so gullible. I told her, honey, I think I want to run for governor. I'll give it a shot. If I lose, we retire, we go away into the pasture, and that's the end of it. And so we ran, and then we were fortunate enough to get through the primary. And I remember when we were talking, and we were all happy we won the primary, you know. When we started out, they called me, who is LePage? Who's this LePage guy? And then, somewhere around January, they said, you know, there's this mayor out of Waterville, you know, you can watch out for him. About March, they were saying, you know, there's a dark horse in the race. And on June 9th, they were calling me secretariat. So I told my wife, I said, honey, what we'll do is I'll run, get it out of my system, if I lose, done. So we go through the primary, and then one day it dawned on her. She looks at me, she says, you might win this. I told you she was gullible. And from that day on, and seriously, from that day on, she and my daughter, with their enthusiasm, their energy, and their support, brought it all the rest of the way, because there were many, many days I was about ready to say, what did I get myself into? But I will tell you, it's all about family. It's all about people. And as we move forward, if I do nothing else in the next 4 years, you will keep hearing this. The state of Maine needs to put its people ahead of politics. I thank you for the honor of being here. I never expected I was going to be asked. I thought we were going to come in, have a couple of glasses of wine, and say hi and bye. But thank you so much. I'm honored beyond words. Thank you.